Hello, Cherries. Welcome to Live Cherry Sunday, episode 178. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how modes sound and feel in all 7 modes in parallel. So there's a slight difference between playing modes in parallel and in relative. And we're going to get into that in just a minute. But let me just go over, we'll do a little playing so you can get a little feel for how they sound. I'm going to play the 7 modes in parallel. So let's give it a go. All right. So we went through all 7 modes, parallel, a couple mistakes in there, but it's live and we're only human, so we do it after all. All right. So, yeah, a lot of people are just confused about the modes and not sure what they are. And hopefully after this video, I'm going to clear all this stuff up. But I want to say hello to my friend here in the chat. Give you a round of applause for Ozman. Can't stay just dropping by. That's fine. Thank you for stopping by. I don't know what you're drinking out there, but it's coffee o'clock. I'm sure it's beer o'clock somewhere. I'm still drinking coffee. Got to wake up whenever we're doing modes. Got to stay alert. So, all right. So, parallel modes as opposed to relative modes is, I think, where people get a little bit confused. So I'm playing in G, in the key of G, right? G chord right here. Play G major scale. Play the G major scale any way you like. Play it this way. Play it this way. Doesn't matter. I use the 3 notes per string system today just to kind of make some sense out of it. But you can play it anywhere, any way you like. The whole idea is not really to get caught up in the positions or patterns, but to understand what they sound like and what they feel like. And that's really the most important thing about the modes. And what I did last week was I played the modes in relative modes, which means that they're all the same notes. Play the G major scale. Yeah, Ozman, great post with your mom yesterday. Yeah, thank you very much for that. Really appreciate that. And very sweet of you. So yeah, the relative modes are just the notes of the G major scale, starting on different points. Like if you're playing the chords in G major, you could play like a 1, 4, 5, in the C, in the D. If you were, or say you played on the G, then you played the C chord and then D. When you play the G, you play the G major scale. You play the C, D, or if you stayed on it for any longer amount of time, say you played on a G, like, and a D. When you go to that D, you could play, still you're playing the G major scale, but you're starting on the D note. D, back to G, or back or to the C. That would be a C Lydian. Back to G. But that's all relative with each other because it's all the same notes, and sometimes they sound all the same because you're playing the same notes. And those are modes, yes. But people they end right there, and they don't really take it to the next level, which are playing them in parallel. So you can really, really hear what they sound like, you know, and use them a little bit more musically. I mean, it really is cool to use them both in a relative way as well, because you can really focus on the chord tones and the scales based on the chords that you're playing in a common progression like that. We can play the G and the C. stuff like that. But also, what we're doing today is we're playing in relative, so we're playing in all the different modes, all over a couple of different chords, but based on G, on the G chord, whether it's minor or major. So, starting off with the, let's see, we'll start off with the major scale, G major. Switch cameras here for a second to get a better view of my guitar. Now I don't have any charts today. Sorry about that. So you're gonna have to just kind of listen up and pick this up. I'll have some charts later on today. So if you want to email me at info@jerrycherry, I will send you those graphs that I make, because I usually put them together for my vertical videos that I put out on social media. My 1-minute videos. So G major scale, right? Goes like this. See if you can see this all right. Stop fidgeting around. Now this scale fits perfectly over a G or a G major 7 chord. So whenever you see a G chord, G major, you got the major scale. Whenever you see a G major 7 chord like this, or like this, or however you want to play G major scale. Chord, you have it like that, and you play the G major scale over that. And that's what the first loop was that I created, which sounds like this. It's G and a G7. Because either one, you know, you're allowed to play this major scale. You're allowed. So you got G. Just G major scale, running down the scale. Running on the third. Here's that 7th. So that's basically your major sound. You know it, you love it, you're happy with it, and everyone's happy. Now, we can go on to another scale that we could play with the same chords, with the G and the G7, G major 7th again. And that's the Lydian Mode, because they both have, all you're doing is, you're just changing one note. You have the same scale. I'm going to take the 4th note and I'm going to raise it a half step. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to raise it up. So now I have a sharp 4. I'll do it. We'll go up the octave. Now I'm still on G, haven't changed anything. This is how parallel comes into play. Because if you're not sure what parallel means, it's like there's an exact definition for it, and I forgot what it is, but it's like two lines that run exact with each other, and you never cross paths. So you have the G right here, and it's parallel, they run exact with each other. So basically what I mean is I'm running all these modes parallel, so they're running in line with each other. They're not being spaced out. Like you would think, here's G, and then Lydian would be C Lydian if you're basing it on G. So that's not parallel. It'd be like this. Those are the same notes as G, but they're relative to each other. Parallel would mean I'm going to play the Lydian at the same exact time as the Ionian, which is the major scale. So I'm playing this one, and then I'm playing this one. That would be in parallel if played it at the same time. Hello, Jeffrey Boyle. Give you a round of applause. Thank you very much for popping in. It's good to see you. So now we can play this Lydian scale, G Lydian. So I just took the major scale. I just sharped the fourth note all the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, listen to the difference between those two scales over this loop. I'll play a little bit more of the major. Just the major scale. Now, I'm going to play the Lydian Mode. Yeah, that's kind of very spatial, out of space type of sound. Back to the major. So you can mix them up a little bit, like modal mixture type of thing. Back to Lydian. So all I did was change one note. I sharped the 4 there, and that's playing those two modes in parallel with each other, because I'm playing them on top of the same thing. I'm not playing C, which would be relative, C Lydian. I'm playing G Lydian. Essentially, I'm switching keys right there. When I play G Lydian, I'm actually now in the key of D, because I'm playing all the notes of the D major scale. I'm playing the 4th degree of the D major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I play the 4th note on the D major scale, it would look like this. There it is, G Lydian. And right there in the D major scale. So I could technically play the D major scale over this G progression. Let's check it out. D major. But focusing on the G. There's 3 notes per string, D. But I'll stop on the G. Lets me play like different type of stuff, because I'm playing this position I don't really play in too often, so it gives me different type of licks. All right. So pretty cool. Pretty cool concept there. So now we'll go down to, we'll play the G Mixolydian mode. It's a slightly different because here's G major. Oh, I just gave myself a round of applause. So any questions about this stuff, and if you like this video so far, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. I go live every Sunday, usually at 12 o'clock. And sometimes, you know, I can't do it on Sunday, so we do it the very next day, which is today, Monday. So we're having so much fun. I love this stuff, modes. I always have. Ever since I was a little kid, I was fascinated by them. I don't know why, because they just sound good, and it really kind of opens up your vocabulary musically. Instead of playing just pentatonic scales, which are great, or now you're playing stuff more, it's like it's a little bit more colorful and interesting, and you could use it in lots of different places, write songs with it, and you know when you hear that sound, I think I was just out with there for a minute. You'll know where to play. And it's all just one scale. I just changed one note, basically. And now the cool thing is, you can change one more note. Going back to the G major scale. Right. If I take the 7th degree, and I just flatten that. So far we haven't done that. We'll take the G. But the 7th note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we're going to go down a half step. So we're going to make that F sharp an F. Check it out. Same thing going up the next octave. So instead of playing G major, we're going to play G Mixolydian by just flattening that one note. Really adds a cool sound. So I made another loop just using a G and a G7. Sounds like this. Hear that? And that's a dominant, a G7. It's a very popular chord that you've heard a million times. And this is the scale that you want to play. I mean, one of them. It's the most basic framework that you could play over it. And it's still the most widely used. You know, when I say basic, I don't mean simple. I just mean it's the foundation. It's like peanut butter and jelly, you know? It's like this scale goes with this chord. You'll know why in a second when I start playing with it. It's still major. Let's get that 7th. It's like one of my favorite licks, like the Mixolydian riff where I go. I just take that root note, I take the third, down to the seventh. To me, that's the sound of Mixolydian. And I do it again down here. So I'm utilizing the third and the seventh. If you want to get really weird for a second, you could do a tritone substitution right there. So it'd be like this. Playing this seventh chord. A little jazzy right there, right? But you just play it everywhere. Play it up here. Kind of like what we did before, we could take, this is the fifth degree of something, right? Actually, if we went back to being relative, we would play G major. In a relative situation, Mixolydian would be over the D chord. But we're playing it over the G, so really it's the G now is the 5 chord of something. And what is that? It's a 5 chord of C. So if I played the C major scale, it would work. Check it out. I played a C major scale over this G7 chord. I stop on the G, and now it's a G Mixolydian mode. So I'm playing in the C area where that really doesn't work too well. It's like would have a D minor in there because it's in the key of C, right? Which is another thing. You could play a D. You could play a D Dorian scale there. So without getting too confusing, G Mixolydian. All right. So if you're enjoying this, hit that like button so far. Ring the bell for notifications. All that groovy stuff. So we're going down the list here. Now we did the 3 major modes. There's 3 minor modes. Now in G, to make it minor, we're just going to play G minor. Simple as that, right? So we took the major scale, right? We're comparing everything to the major scale. Now we're going to make a Dorian, a G Dorian. And all we do is we're going to take the third, we're going to flatten the third. So we go 1, 2, 3. Going to flatten that. So now it's minor. 4, 5, 6, everything still stays the same. The 7, we're going to flatten that. So the Dorian's the same as a major scale, only a flat third and flat seventh. So we got, here's the major scale. Here's the Dorian scale. So I just changed 2 notes. I made from the major third to the minor third. I just dropped it down a half step, and I took the major seventh. So essentially, this is 1 note different than the Mixolydian, where it was, but it's minor. So it's like a minor Mixolydian, right? So it's like this. Going up, you got the next octave. It is right there. And it shows you in this 3 notes per string position, you really get a sense of where the intervals are just by the way they look. So you know it's a minor scale and has a major 6. There it is right there. On the D string, 5th fret on the D string is the G. 5th fret on the B string, it's the 6th degree. So you got that there. Same thing there. So it's a major 6 with that minor note. That's really the sound of Dorian right there. It's kind of like that. That's the sound of Dorian. Major 6 and the minor third. So I have a loop right here, which is just a G minor and with a G minor 7. The sound of Dorian. So if you have a G minor or any minor chord, or minor 7 chord like this, you wonder what to play, well, that Dorian really works really nicely. And this is the kind of the minor we have to really understand the difference between Dorian and a natural minor, which we're going to get to next, the natural minor. But this one has a major 6. Get that in your head, that major. Here's the root note. the third, minor third, the fifth. So that's a really cool one. I mean, big fan of Dorian. I love the name. I love the mode. It's a great sound. Really, really cool. So any questions about this stuff, please let me know in the comment section right here, in the chats, or in the comment section later. You know, if you're confused about any of this stuff, the idea was to unconfuse you. So going down to the next mode, we have just the Aeolian. And what we're going to do there is we're going to take it one step further. We're just going to drop the 6th degree. So we had the Dorian mode, right? Which is like this. Now we're going to take, let's do the major scale one more time from G. Now with the Aeolian, you're going to drop the 3rd. So we'll drop that down a half step. Then we're going to drop the 6th. So here's 4, 5, 6. Drop the 6th down, half step right there. The 7th, drop the 7th down a half step, back to the root. So you had the major scale, which is like this. Now you're going to play the G minor scale, which is like this. Going up the octave. So you have the minor scale, like that. So it's like a major scale. We just drop the 3rd, half step. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Normally a 6th up there. Drop that down again. Normally a 7th right there. Drop that down. So you're flattening 3 notes. The 3rd, the 6th, and the 7th. If you did like a chord like this, then you win. I don't know. Hello, Bobby! Good to see you. Give you a round of applause. You got a little G minor 7 chord right here. the Aeolian Mode. All right. Hopefully you're enjoying that. If you are, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Hello, Alex. Oh, yes. All right. That looks like peas, only with a Y. Oh, yes. Very cool. So we have one more left. One more mode. Actually, no, it's two more. It's the Phrygian Mode, and it's very similar. It's the same chord, the G. With the Phrygian, you're just going to change one more note. As you can see, we're going from light to dark. We're flattening one more note each way down. So we have, check this out. Watch this camera. Here's the G major scale, right? Back to G major. G major. So we're going to take the third. Actually, I'm going to take the second note, flatten that. Take the third note, flatten that. You got the fourth, fifth note, keep the fifth. The sixth note, flatten that. The seventh note, flatten that. So we took the third note, we took the second note, flattened it. The third note, flattened it. Kept the fourth, kept the fifth. Sixth note, flattened it. Seventh note, flattened it. So from the major scale, we now have the Phrygian Mode. And up the octave. It sounds like this. See that root note right there? It's that half step. Instead of going. That second degree right there. They used to. Now it's a half step. You gotta be careful a little bit how to use it, right? Because it sounds really. All right. So any questions about this or this mode or anything, let me know. You know, once again, like if you were playing G major and you thought, okay, well, the relative Phrygian would be a B minor, right? So you got a progression where it's like G. G. Then you went to a B. You play B Phrygian, right? Which would be like. But you're really playing just the same notes as G. So it's the third chord of G. So if you look at, well, what is, if G is the third chord, what would it be of? It would be of E flat right there. So I could play E major, E flat major over this whole thing, and now I have G Lydian as well. Let's try that. Play E flat major scale. So I'm really playing E flat major. Right there. And there's a G. G Phrygian. Over E flat. I could think, well, I could play some licks in E flat too. So pretty cool. Sounds a bit out of tune. That's because, let's check the tuning. Well, it's going to sound a little bit out. Check this out. This mode is just a very out sound. Check it out. You have this. Out, right? Is that what you're talking about? Right there. Because you got a half step right there. hopefully that's a little bit better, and it sounds a little bit more in tune. All right. I mean, out of key, out of tune, two different things right there, which I've been known to be out of both, along with out of my mind. But thank you, and welcome, Rajesh. Good to see you. Give you a round of applause. We got one last mode right here, and this is the weirdest one of all. It's the Locrian, and it's every note is flat here on this one. Try to get in tune here. There you go. A little flat. And this is the Locrian mode right here. So here's the major scale. Put on the big screen right here. So we're going to flat the second, flat the third. The fourth is normal. Take the fifth, flat that as well. The sixth, flat. Seventh, flat. So we're flattening every note here that we can, except for the fourth. And it sounds like this. So instead of the G major scale, we have the G Locrian mode. Now I built a loop that's basically just a minor 7 flat 5 chord. Sounds like that, like this. And it's not really something you would sit here and vamp over like this, but gives you the idea of the sound. Interesting, huh? All right, and then we can get real happy again. We play Lydian here. Mixolydian. Drop it down to Dorian. To Aeolian. Last, back to the Locrian. All right, thank you very much for listening to all those modes. That's a little bit crazy here. We're about at that time to wrap it up for the day, and thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you got something out of this. Let me know if you have any questions about any of this stuff here in the chat or in the comments section later on. I really appreciate it, and hopefully you found this helpful. You know, there is another video I want to just let you know about that's in the description, and it's the major scale 3 notes per string, and it's very helpful because you'll know, 3 notes per string in the 7 different positions, and then you could utilize all the modes throughout all those positions, and it's really, really cool and helpful to know as well. I'll put that in the description. So thank you very much. Thank you, Rajesh. Very, very kind of you popping in here. And Alex, thank you very much. And Bobby, Jeffrey Boyle, Ozman. Very, very cool of you. We usually go live on Sundays here, but we couldn't do it yesterday, so here we are today on Monday. We do it when we can. So really appreciate you. Thank you very much for that. Remember, guys, be cool, be kind, be cherry. I'll see you in the next video. And if you want to know about 3 notes per string, major scale, check out the video right there. See you in the next one. Have a great week. Peace, everybody.